my beautiful friends, and welcome back to another episode on this Divine Conscious podcast. I am your host, Lotus. I hope everyone has been absolutely amazing. So, today I am bringing forth a very powerful message. So, I personally experienced something this weekend that really brought to life a new perspective for me. So I live here in America, and for those of you who are tuning in all around the world, I know I have people tuning in from Germany and the United Kingdom, so thank you guys so very much. Where you guys are tuning in, thank you. But today, I really want to have a moment and talk to my fellow Americans. So this weekend, I went on a date, and it was a very interesting time, that's for sure. So we decided to go down to the plaza, and it was absolutely beautiful outside. And I'm a very I'm a nature person, so I love to be outside. I love to go on nature walks. I love to go feed the ducks or squirrels or something. That's just who I am. And so since it was absolutely beautiful and we were at the plaza and we had a reservation at the Cheesecake Factory. But everybody knows if you go to the Cheesecake Factory on the plaza, and especially on a Saturday, it's going to be packed. So that's why we made a reservation, right? And we were already planning on walking around. But what I was not anticipating was what I was a part of. And so I really gained a brand new perspective of what is truly happening here in America, because I finally witnessed I finally was a part of it, of what's truly happening to our country, and we are being invaded. This isn't a drill. This is so real. So when I was on my date and we were walking around downtown in the plaza, it was absolutely beautiful. We had literally just been sitting at this park bench. We were feeding these ducks, and we were like, okay, maybe we should start heading back. We have 3 or 4 blocks to walk before we actually make it to the Cheesecake Factory, and we can just sit outside, get a drink, chill. Well, as we began to walk towards the Cheesecake Factory, we had no idea what we were about to be a part of. So we were at the red light, and as we were at the red light, there was a terrorist protest, okay, going on. And it was the most scariest thing I think I've ever been a part of, because as we were waiting to cross the street, waiting for the green light so that we can cross the street, the protest caught up to us and we actually got stuck in the middle of it. And as we were trying to cross the street, these people were very angry. They were talking about bombing Israel, and it was just and killing Israelites, and it was really crazy. And it definitely scared me, and it gave me a brand new perspective, because I wound up getting, as I was crossing the street, me and his hand separated, and I got stuck in that a little bit because I was so small and I really was scared. And I have never really seen terrorists up front, but there was definitely terrorists in there. And it was my first real experience of realizing that our country is really being invaded. And when we went to the Cheesecake Factory, even our experience that night, because we were waiting outside and the protest was going on, so the atmosphere was heavy. It was weird people everywhere. I don't think there was anyone that was actually American down there. And that was the first time I'd really experienced being in Kansas City, feeling unsafe, and very much we just needed to go. We needed to get out of there. And by the time we had found each other and wound up at the Cheesecake Factory, and then they winded up across the street from the Cheesecake Factory, they gathered at one of the big fountains over there, and it was just a very interesting experience. And that was my first realization, real realization, that finally hit me. I research this stuff and I see this stuff happening to our borders and all of these immigrants getting dropped off in New York City and stuff like that, but we're not a sanctuary city. Kansas City is not a sanctuary city. To see the amount of immigrants that were here and to see what they were protesting, what they were saying, how they were dressed, it was absolutely the most terrifying experience I've really been a part of in a really long time. And so it was my eye opener for me. Like, our country has been invaded. And so, because our country has been invaded right now, it has become extremely dangerous everywhere. Not only that, but it was also one of those realizations and moments for me too, because I really realized the importance of unity. We need to come together as one American race. You know what I mean? Like, we are one. We need to stop looking at each other as our color of our skin or like what we can bring to the table, what we can provide. We need to start looking at each other as we are all one and all lives matter. Every single one of us, all of our lives matter. Nobody is more important than another. The Creator gave us life, and I don't know when life became so like, when I was like born, or maybe that's just the way I was raised, we were taught, or at least I was taught, life is sacred. And it's something you should like, it's sacred. Life is sacred, especially because our creator chose us to come into this world. That is something that is very sacred. I was always taught that because life is sacred, you should teach it. You know, you should treat yourself as such because we are like, our spirit is sacred, and our body, our vessel, this is the temple that our spirit lives in. We are sacred beings. Being able to have this experience as a human right now, and I think a lot of us has forgotten that. So today I really wanted to talk about the importance of unity, and especially because we, the people, are the ones that are truly in charge of everything. And the government right now has gotten way too greedy in their power, and they have forgotten their place. And if we do not rise up as one people, the American people, again, then we are going to lose our country. And so I really feel like this is a very important message today. And I just really needed to express what I went through yesterday, because that really was an eye opener to me, how important unity is this year and what evil we truly are being surrounded around ourselves this year. This year, it seems like evil is okay. Like, people are being rewarded for their evil, and it's just openly out there, and it's leaving a lot of people vulnerable. And it's just, I knew this year was going to be crazy and I was going to be dealing with some stuff, but it took me to experience yesterday for me to really like understand, like, when you're marching around a bunch of people that literally didn't, I don't think any of them actually really spoke English, and I'm not trying to be like racist or anything like that. They really didn't. And they were shouting and screaming and they were violent, and it was very chaotic. And as an empath, when you're taking and feeling on so much hate and so much like you can feel all that, you know, and it was just a lot. It really was. And when they're sitting there telling you that they're gonna like, they want to kill Israelites and bomb Israel and shit, that's crazy. And especially because like when you're like one of the Israelites and you're in the middle of like that, it was, yeah. Oh, it really did work me up. That's for sure. It was an experience that I pray that I never have to be a part of again. But I also feel like that's something that I've never witnessed in Kansas City. Like, we have protests here in Kansas City. I was even part of the Black Lives Matter protest in Kansas City. And yes, we did that for 3 weeks straight. And we did actually make a difference, because our mayor did come out and did actually talk to us. And we did actually make a difference. So it is important to understand that we are very important leaders in our community, and our voices matter. And the more people, like, what you don't understand is, you tuning in right now, you are the hope for everybody here right now in this world that are still asleep. You are that inspiration. You are that light that is going to hopefully lead the people into holding on to that hope so that they can transform their life into something better, because we all right now need so much love. We need so much love in this world right now. We need people to be kind to one another. We need people to be generous and to give. Right now, this world needs healing more than anything. But I really feel like more than anything, in order for us to actually heal, there's so many of us healers now that have healed individually. It's important for us to really step into our communities and help them heal. Share your knowledge. Go give, the homeless food, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's things that you can go out there and do every single day. Even if you start a YouTube channel and start giving people advice, or starting a TikTok and giving, becoming a motivational speaker, that is the hope the world is in need of right now. And right now, we also need so many people to continue to we really have to amp up the energy that is around us right now. We need to really transform our energy. So we need to continue to stay in the light and continue to power up, continue to stay on our ascension path, because that's what's going to really help us against the enemy. It's going to help us continue to transform and transmute all of this energy into higher vibrational frequencies for everybody. But we really need to begin to come together as one, because we are the 99% and they are the 1%. But that 1% has been manipulating us. They have us scared in this fear-based energy. They have hypnotized a lot of us, and we're wounded. And because there's so many of us that are wounded, we need healers right now to step up so that we can heal our people. And instead of looking at everybody, instead of looking at everybody as like an individual, we need to start looking into each other as a unit. Okay, what does this person not have? You know what I mean? So that I can help that person get to where I'm at, and this other person. It's not about anybody being better than another. It's about us coming together and helping each other. Just like if your entire neighborhood got together, imagine this, your entire neighborhood's getting together, right? And there's like, out of your whole neighborhood, say there's like 7 houses that are focused on only home gardens. But that all of those gardens are going to feed that entire community. So now you guys are trading food, right? So now we're going back to trading and stuff like that. But guess what? We're taking care of our people and everybody's being fed. And it's going to be healthier food. If we start feeding our people and stop relying on the government, because the government, it's obvious they're not taking care of us, but that's not originally how it's supposed to be anyway. The government were supposed to originally be our servants. They're there, we're the ones in charge, not them, but they have us scared, and they have us, because they're trying to take too much power, but we're giving them that power. So what happens when you take that power away from them and when we gain the power back? They will fall, and they will be humbled, and they will go back into their place. But what happens that's fine and dandy, but at this point, we clearly see that they are trying to harm us by poisoning our food, and how many missing children have gone missing, and nobody can say anything, like nobody knows what happens. Like, at this point, they're not really doing much to help us at all, and it's pretty evident. So when are we going to take charge and do something ourselves? Because they're clearly not doing anything. But we shouldn't have been relying on them to begin with. We allowed them to take away all of our rights and take all of these things away from us that were God given to us. These are our birthrights. We shouldn't be paying for electricity. We shouldn't be paying for water or food. So can you imagine if all of us got together? You know how we all gather all around the world in unity consciousness? Is by each of us starting with our neighborhoods. Me walking my dog every single day brought out my entire neighborhood. Like, people come out of their houses to greet you, or sometimes they're off work, they're just getting off work, so they're going and getting mail. And so, like, you're greeting people, you talk a little bit because that's what neighbors do. And my neighbor directly behind us, he actually grows a home garden for pretty much everybody in our neighborhood right now. He feeds like 12 houses. I'm not even exaggerating. And it's pretty awesome because we come over there, and like he even has some of the kids like go over there and help him because he's an older gentleman. He's like almost 90, and he's out there like fully farming. It's really impressive. But everybody in our neighborhood knows him, and everybody knows that if you want tomatoes or cucumbers, or if you need anything, that's one of the houses that you go to, and he's always willing to take care of you. So how many people in our neighborhood, if we all started to get together, figure out who the electricians are, figure out who the plumbing people are and stuff like that, and allowed them to tap into their creativity and allowed them to create these machines to where we don't need our government to be relying on, you know what I mean? Like, what would happen if we were able to begin home gardens right now, since it's almost pretty much spring, and then we grew all of that food for everybody? What if so many houses got together and did that? That means that eventually by wintertime, we could actually feed everybody. And then the grocery stores, the more that we're not giving attention to these places who are poisoning our food anyway, and that means that they're having to change what they're doing to cater to us, to try to what, get us to buy things again. So we really are the ones in control this whole time, but we're giving so much control over to them. But now it's time to find the courage within you. This revelation, this revolutionary start that we want, all is going to happen only if you can find the courage within you. You have to step outside your comfort zone. You have to step outside that fear that they have placed upon you. They have placed fear on every single one of us, and you need to see outside of the fear, above the fear, because it's not real. It's an illusion. Everybody needs to break free from these illusions, and we need to get together, and we need to figure out what our traits are, because if we don't do something now, then they will kill our people. And they will continue to bring these immigrants in, and there's no jobs. There's hardly any jobs for us. There's absolutely no jobs for them. So what's going to begin happening, like it already has begun, all of these immigrants are now realizing that the funds that the government was giving them only runs so far, and now they're running out of the funds because we didn't have funds to provide anyway to begin with. Not only that, but there's no jobs here. So now these immigrants are going to start what? Stealing, breaking in, because they need to live, and their basic needs need to be met, just as ours does. So because all of this is really going to get, I mean, come on, we're only in March, guys, and things are, they're not even the tip of how crazy they're going to get this year, okay? Remember, this is election year, and election is in November, so it's only going to get, we're only heating up, okay? So we need to be mindful that right now is the time to take action and to begin to get to know your neighbors and understand what everyone's good at. If you guys come together in your neighborhood, because in my neighborhood in particular, I live in the suburbs, but out here in Blue Springs, in order for us to even move into this neighborhood, everyone had to agree onto it. We don't have like an HR community or anything like that. Thank God for that, because I really wouldn't have to pay to live. Just, yeah, I don't know. I hate that shit. But I just don't do that. But we did agree on, yes, these people can live here kind of thing. But we are also like, I walk my dog. So I go and talk to people, and I like to know everybody, and people automatically kind of tell me their stories anyway. But I understand. I also like, when I walk my dog, I'll bring a trash bag and I'll clean up trash. And if I'm walking my dog every day, well, then normally there's not going to be trash because I've already picked it up. So I clean up my neighborhood too, and I keep it nice and clean. That's just who I am, though. Because the earth is our home, and it's important for us to take care of it, even if that extends outside of your like physical house. Everywhere, nature. This is our home. We are one with nature, we are one with the animal kingdom, and we are one with ourselves. At least we should be. So, I just really wanted it to come on here and kind of make a short little episode today about the importance of really coming together as one. Because can you imagine, just imagine this. There's 190 million Americans. Okay, just imagine. We're just going to imagine this, okay? So you have 190 million Americans. Now, out of that 190 million Americans, let's say 90 million of them are actually working and actively playing and participating in the Matrix, okay? Now, out of that 90 million, what do you think would happen if that 90 million people that is a working class, okay? What if 40 million of them came together and decided that they were no longer going to pay for taxes or pay for their mortgage payments and the taxes on them anymore? What do you think would happen? Like, honestly, because the banks then would begin to lose their value. I mean, do you really see, like, really think about this? Because, like, this is how much power we truly have. Now, when you visualize this and you realize how much power we have, you're realizing how much power you've actually been giving over to people. Yeah? It's time for us to take back our power, because if we don't take back our power, they're going to continue to get this big head that our power is actually their power, when in reality it's our power. And so they're living in their own fantasy. And they just need to be humbled. They really do. Our government needs to be humbled, and we need to take back control. But not only that, but our government, they now have allowed an invasion to happen in our country. And so it's important for us to unify ourselves as Americans, because, well, it's getting dangerous out there in the streets, and we need to take care of one another. We are one people. We need to come together as one people. It doesn't matter what color skin you are, or if you're a male or if you're a female. We need to learn how to respect each other. And we need to learn how to value and respect life. I don't understand what is going on in our world. What happened to respect? Like, it's just completely gone out the window. And it's just absolutely absurd. Nobody wants to respect anybody anymore. And even the people that are super kind, people want to just, like, not respect them, thinking, oh, you can just take advantage of them because they're naive, because they're kind. Like, right now, this world is just in so much need of love and healing. But it takes you tuning in right now to be that person. If you can hear me right now, you are that shining light that the world has been waiting for. And more than ever, we are in need of healers right now. So please step up, because your healing energy is needed and your leadership skill is needed. And if more of us can get together in our neighborhoods, even if we just start in our neighborhood, eventually we can then take over our communities. But all it takes is for us to step into our leadership roles to be able to actually save our communities, to be able to save our people. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode right there. I hope that gave you some food for thought today. And more than anything, I hope this really gave you a new perspective of why you are important right now, and why it's important for you to step into your heart chakra. Okay? Lead with your heart, lead with love, because right now this world is in need of your love. I love you guys so very much, and until the next episode, I hope you guys are absolutely incredible. Sending you all my love and light. Namaste.